My wife leaned back across the kitchen table, a sly smirk playing on her lips as she stirred her coffee like she owned the morning. "He's just a friend," she said, the words light, but the edge in her tone sharp, almost teasing. "You're so jealous. It's pathetic." I set my mug down slowly, letting the warmth seep into my hands, grounding me. I'd expected irritation, maybe a confrontation, but not this casual cruelty, not this deliberate testing of limits. She didn't yell, didn't demand anything. She simply leaned back, eyes glinting with amusement, as if daring me to respond. For a moment, I let the silence stretch, tracing the months and years we'd shared. Quiet mornings, shared dinners, the tiny routines that had shaped our marriage. And yet, here we were, standing on the edge of something unnamed, something unspoken. I didn't need to respond. The quiet carried its own weight. She didn't realize that her words were bouncing off walls that had heard every doubt, every complaint, every fleeting suspicion. Our life had its rhythm, its pattern, one she thought she could shake with a smirk, a careless insult. But I had learned to pause, to measure before reacting. I stood slowly, placing my mug in the sink with deliberate care. The moment was charged, but I let it pass without comment. She waited, perched on the expectation of a fight, a plea, a reaction. None came. I stepped out briefly, not in anger or defeat, but in quiet observation. When I returned, my voice calm, almost flat, I said, "I hope your friend appreciates how much you think of him." Her smirk faltered, just for a flicker, almost imperceptible, like sunlight hiding behind clouds. I didn't rush to fill the silence. I let it linger, giving her words space to settle. She had expected confrontation, jealousy, anger, but none of that appeared. I moved to the living room, resting my hands casually on the couch. The tension followed me, heavy in the air, while I watched her thinking, recalculating. The energy shifted, not with force, but with absence. My refusal to react, my denial of drama, unsettled her. She had assumed I would stumble, reveal a weakness. Instead, I remained calm, observing, almost attached, as if the world itself had slowed down. Minutes passed. She spoke again, careless jokes meant to provoke, but they fell flat. There was no battlefield here, only my composed distance. My mind traced the past months, seeing the subtle patterns I had ignored, small tests, casual provocations, tiny dismissals. She had been setting the stage for months, maybe years, and now the curtain had lifted. I returned to the kitchen, my voice slow, precise. "If he's just a friend, then he must be extraordinary, because you've devoted an awful lot of attention to him lately." My tone stayed calm, a quiet contrast to the storm she had tried to stir. The words weren't harsh, but their clarity carried weight. Her eyes widened, and for a brief moment, the confidence in her smirk cracked. I didn't raise my voice or step closer. I let her absorb the inevitability of my words. No pleading, no desperation, only calm, measured understanding. She had aimed to provoke, to test boundaries she thought were fragile, but boundaries only break when given the chance. I walked past her slowly, deliberately, letting every movement carry meaning. The house felt smaller, the air thick with tension. I didn't need to explain. My absence of reaction spoke volumes. She searched for anger, for passion, for the fire she expected, but found only stillness. Silence, in its deliberate form, was louder than any argument. Later, as the evening settled, I made my stance clear without confrontation. I withdrew into my own space, reclaiming the calm she had tried to disturb. I focused on the routines that grounded me, letting her words echo into emptiness rather than spark conflict. She realized too late that the drama she craved would never come from me. I didn't need to prove a point. The quiet truth of my composure spoke louder than any accusation or apology could. Days passed. The energy shifted permanently. She tested again, small gestures, subtle provocations, but each time met the same unwavering presence. In the end, she understood what I had always known. Control of oneself is stronger than any attempt to manipulate, any smirk meant to wound. I remained steady, calm, unshaken. Silence became my statement. Patience, my strength. The lesson was clear. Not through words, not through fury, but through quiet resilience. Some battles aren't fought with noise. They're won with stillness, dignity, and unwavering calm.